forward to this. Welcome, where we are rooted in spirit, we transmit only what is coherent, and we mirror only what is true.
Where we get real, get rooted, and we stay free. Welcome to Rooted in Spirit.
Today, everyone, we have a very special guest, a dear friend of mine. Her name is Soren Cortes. Welcome, Soren.
Welcome,
Thank
Soren.
you. Thank you.
Soren is a medicine woman, opera singer, and musician. She integrates the therapeutic power of the voice with ancestral traditions. As a moon dancer and a practitioner on the ayahuasca path since 2021, she guides profound healing experiences. Her work unites classical art with the wisdom of the earth to foster the awakening of consciousness.
Wow.
Wonderful. Wonderful to have you here today, Soren.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
yeah. So tell us a bit about your journey, Soren. How this journey happened. Like, what was the pivotal moment in your life when you realized I've got to make a shift? I'm moving into more of a spiritual direction. And
Wow. Um, so I would say the pandemic in 2020 that moved my whole world. At the moment, it was extremely difficult for me to leave it because I lost everything I had and I was not understanding why that was happening, but I'm really grateful. So I was always looking for God. When I was young, I've been always very spiritual. I grew up with not much like religion in my family, but then my mom sent me to a boarding school with nuns. So I learned everything about Catholicism, right? So we used to pray every day, to pray the rosary, to go to masses like 3, 4 times a week. I memorized everything, the Bible, like poof, everything. But something was missing there. I was trying to really like connect in authentic way that would feel good in my body, you know? So I was looking for that. I could find it through music. So I was singing in the choir of the church, and that was my clearest or purest connection with this entity, we would say, or this presence that we call God. Like everybody can call it in a different way, but for me, it was like, okay, this is like a higher self, like a higher power than myself, something bigger than me, and this is how I connect with it. I didn't realize that that was inside of me already. I was very young. I was like 15 years old and start questioning everything. Um, to the point that I was questioning like the practices in the church. I saw a lot of people that was not coherent, and that really caught my attention, broke my heart, and I was like, I don't want to be Catholic anymore. This is not. They say something and they do something different, and I don't see the point. So I start looking more in other religions. I start going with the um, Indian cultures, for example, the Krishna followers, and going there and start learning different things. I became also more like a Christian. Here in Mexico, we have these two difference, like the Catholic people that are Christian and the Christians that are more like Protestant. That is a very big difference. So when I was 20, my father took me to the church and he converted already to this Christianism, this kind of evangelic Christianism, and start feeling spiritual energy very, very like vividly. And I saw people speaking in tongues, and I was like, this should be the real thing, right? So I went there and started praying, and then I quit as well. I follow and I quit the day that they start saying like, oh, you're an opera singer. Well, if you sing that, that's you like worshiping the devil. You cannot sing that. You can only sing for God. And I was like, wait a minute. I know what I'm singing. I know like the meaning of the lyrics because it's a requirement in opera singing to know what you're singing. right? Like, of
Mm.
course, if not, you cannot like interpret things. So I was like, no, sorry, that's too much. I'm not willing to give away my art just because they say that this is of the devil. I don't see how that can be like so able to sing about love or something. I was like, mm-mm, this is not resonant, coherent. So at the end, I could recognize that they have certain spirits helping them, guiding them, providing love, providing healing. But the human itself is like, okay, now I'm gonna put you like limits and structures in ways that you cannot like think critically. And I was like, So I know that my soul wants to be like aware and free, and I was like, okay, I need to keep looking and keep looking. And I was like looking everywhere. So I got to Reiki one day. So I started studying Reiki and also feeling and other things that my intuition told me like several years ago, that I could feel like energy in my hands, that I would have intuition, that meditation when you visualize things is a real thing, that is not like product of your imagination as the system wants us to believe. So I realized that I had more power than I thought. So that was a little like hint of like I want to keep doing this, but I wasn't so sure how far I would get with that. Then all my structures, the material structures in my life, start falling apart. First, I left my opera singing in my job. I was working for the orchestra of Mexico State, and I stopped doing that. And then I was working in restaurants, and out of the sudden, artists we cannot work anymore because of the pandemic, and I had to survive with very little money. And I got to live in a very, very difficult situation until I said, like, okay, I gotta move off here because if not, I'm gonna perish. I have to do something about this. I have to move. So life pushed me to move radically. So I just sold all my things, gave even my dogs in adoption with my ex-boyfriend, and I went to explore Puerto Escondido. So I arrived the 25th of September of 2020, and during the day I was cleaning a hostel. In afternoons, I was giving online singing lessons. And I met another guy there, a boyfriend who was suffering from addictions, and he wanted to heal. So in 2017, I did my first ayahuasca ceremony with Guillermo Ruiz. Um, he now is the founder of Ayahuasca Mexico. Like you can find him in YouTube and other places. And that was very, very transformative. So that ceremony is the most important one I had, but also left an imprint in me, like that hunger of trying to find out what else is there, because it was very, very deep, like teachings. I learned that I needed to start looking inside of me more and more and more to really find what I was looking for instead of looking outside. As I was trying to find all the answers externally, they were inside of me. But I was not really understanding how, but I knew they were there because that's what ayahuasca showed me at that moment. Like all the healing, all the answers, all the things are in you. Start researching, start digging inside of yourself. So I remember he told me after somebody just gave us a little bit of changa, after we went to the mushrooms again in San Jose del Pacifico, you know what? I believe that DMT can help me to get rid of my addictions. So can we have ayahuasca? And I said like, okay, let me ask Guillermo Ruiz if we can do a ceremony with him, or maybe he knows somebody else. Because at that moment I realized that ceremonies are so sacred, it's a big deal to make a ceremony that you cannot just go and find one online and who knows who prepared the medicine, who knows who's this person, I'm just gonna sit and take the medicine. I realized that it was very serious and sacred to do that. So I went with this person that I trust already, that I saw like the coherence in his work, And then he told me that in just where I was, in the same town, Puerto Escondido, I would find one of his friends that studied with the same teacher in the Peruvian Amazon jungle, and that is Rocco Cruz. So Rocco Cruz was here. I went to a ceremony in 2021, January of 2021, and that second ceremony changed everything. It was a catalyzer for me.
So
So in
sorry,
that,
before you get deep into that, so basically what you're telling us is your trauma that happened pre-COVID or right during COVID, it forced you to leave your comfortable place and you moved to a different area parts of Mexico, which led to you doing plant medicine. So your trauma led you to plant medicine, and plant medicine opened up something inside you where you was able to use your gifts, know your worth, let your light shine. Is that was the catalyst for you finding your spirituality or finding your voice?
yeah, in that ceremony, I could sing. I'm a singer, but I could sing, and I felt something I never felt before, and that made all the sense in the world to me and felt the most truthful thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that the real reason to sing is to heal,
Mm-hmm.
not just because of vanity or to prove that, oh, look how beautiful I sing. That really doesn't matter. That's a trap of the ego. So for me was like I can sing and I can heal myself, but I can also sing and I can help others, and this is important to do beyond if it's beautiful or not, beyond like all the constructions of the mind around the voice. This is important to do because frequencies can heal. So then I talked after the ceremony, I talked to Rocco and said like, I just feel very, very, very like drawn to go and sing in ceremonies. There's a possibility I can do this? And he told me, yes, welcome. You can sit with us every ceremony, and you can do this. So I start like doing ceremonies every 15 days, sometimes every week, every weekend for a good period of time. So for 4 years, I did like a lot of ayahuasca ceremonies
Okay.
that helped me so much to understand my world. And at some point, I remember like after ceremonies, after singing songs or listening to songs, those songs were stuck in my head and I didn't know how to play instruments, but I had an ukulele, so I grabbed my ukulele and started playing and singing the songs. And I was like, how is this possible? Like, how can I just have this urge to keep singing these songs and just like um, put them together naturally? So I always say that I don't know how to play ukulele. Ayahuasca taught me how to play ukulele.
So would you
So
say that your voice, you was already an opera singer prior to doing ayahuasca. So did you notice a shift or change in your tone of frequency once you took ayahuasca? What was
yeah,
the notice? What was the change for you?
so I didn't have access to all my voice when I was an opera singer because of this construct of you can only sing this way. So it opened a gate of exploring my voice
Okay.
beyond that frame of the opera. So I could sing with many different voice effects, I would say, but also I stepped into channeling as well with my voice, which I never did before. I was always in my mind thinking, oh, I'm gonna sing this and then I'm gonna do this and that. But in ayahuasca, I was just like sitting, feeling all the coherence of like connecting myself to the earth and the sky at the same time and being like an open channel
Mhm.
and start singing through that. I could feel people singing for me, like indigenous people, elders.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I could have these visions of animals, like so many beautiful light beings singing for me. So I started like also singing, channeling icaros, and I was just like, wow, what is this? A
So
lot of times I could hear my
Icaro,
voice. Yeah.
can you channel Icaros not under the medicine, just in conscious state, or do you need to be in an altered state to channel the icaros.
No,
And
now I
for
can
those
do
that
it.
don't know, can you tell the audience what an icaro is?
Yeah. So Icaro is a specific frequency that people, for example, the people of Peru,
Hmm.
such as Shipibo, the Shipibo tribe, these Icaros come to them in medicine, so they start singing in their own language or whatever they comes to them to help people to heal. They have a specific frequencies and specific intentions for this. So yeah,
Are
I
all
can
of them the
sing.
same? Are there different icaros per different ceremony? I know, Matrell, I know you drum and do other instruments.
I also sing or tone.
Okay.
I don't know if they're Icaros. I mean, I know in Temescal, Soren has heard me singing. I
Hmm.
don't know. What is that I'm singing? Is that an Icaro or what is that? I don't know.
So I would say that Icaros are like these very high frequencies in different languages. So
Hmm.
not necessarily Shipibo language.
Hmm.
It can be in Spanish. It can be in other languages. That these are just frequencies to heal. And yes, they are very different. Icaros. Some Icaros are like for healing the heart. Others
Yeah.
for healing the womb. Others for healing situations, for healing traumas, to remember truths. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. So for me, it's not even a language that I know. It's
Okay.
almost like this ancient language that's coming through me that feels like it has a higher frequency and it is for healing. So I guess it would be qualified as a Ikaro, but it isn't a language that I actually know in
Hmm.
my waking state. I don't know that language. So yeah, it's very interesting, which I wanted to ask you about. My question is, you describe your work as uniting classical art with earth wisdom. So can you walk us through what a session or ceremony with you actually looks and sounds like?
okay, well, that would depend. You mean like ayahuasca ceremony or other kinds?
Well, you could talk about both if you want to. Yeah.
Okay, so in an ayahuasca ceremony, what I do is like, well, we prepare the altar, we pray, we do all the preparations beforehand, several weeks beforehand, that the so the all the environment is right for people, is sacred, is contained energetically, that is pure, clear, you know. And during the ceremony, I'm gonna drink, and I also everybody's gonna drink within the circle. And once I feel the medicine that is there, like present with me, then only then I can start singing, and the medicine is gonna guide me of what I need to sing. A lot of times it's like this song, or sometimes I want to sing a song and I cannot remember. So I know that is like the medicine is telling me, don't sing that one now, later, or not today. And it's like, I ask her, okay, what do you want me to sing? I wait a little, and it tells me, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna sing this song, or sometimes not a song, just sing. Okay, sing and do this. It just gives me instructions of what to do, which is
That a
very, very
guide of yours?
beautiful.
What being energy is giving you instructions? Is that one of your guides?
I would say it's directly the ayahuasca consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah, I talk to them. Sometimes other light beings come, ancestors, sometimes like an elder that present themselves like, I'm this person, I'm gonna help you. Or sometimes I connect with angels as well. So different beings can come, but mostly when I'm asking this direction is to the energy of ayahuasca to know what people need.
So do you
Yeah.
channel through song or through words as well? So if I'm in a session with you, are you going to sing Icaros, or are you just going to just give me the message through consciousness?
I would say I would sing icaros and I would send medicine songs as well, depending on the message of the song.
Okay.
Yeah, all of this. And sometimes not even like singing, more like doing like shh, 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 these kind of sounds that are also coming to heal. Yeah.
Mhm. So, voice is often described as one of the most direct paths to the nervous system and the soul. What have you witnessed in others or in yourself when the voice becomes part of a healing process?
It feels coherent. I would say, like I was mentioning, like I become like a portal where I can just like receive all this energy. It comes directly through sound. And I would say it's one of the most amazing sensations of not needing to perform, not needing to be anything, just exist with that energy and allow it to be. I don't know how else to describe it. It,
Yeah.
it just happens in that way. And for me it's a relief that I don't have to start like thinking and then like it's just being there in coherence, like
Yes.
existing as I am already without having to make any effort. It's effortless. It feels right. It feels amazing in the body. And then it gives me this sensation of profound, deep love. I start feeling love and gratitude in a way that I cannot explain. It expands to the whole universe, and that's when I feel this unity with the universe. Like I dissolve into the universe, feeling like the oneness, that unity, and I can sing that.
And
And so
how
you
does
can sing that even out of not with medicine, you can just feel that energy and just start singing it. Does is it will be considered light language? You know, have you heard of light language? Will that be considered light language
Yeah,
as well?
exactly. So when we talk about icaros, icaros is a type of light language.
Okay.
It can be translated to Shipibo, to Spanish sometimes, but sometimes it's just syllables
Yeah.
that we are not really understanding or like with the mind, but the body knows, the body feels. You receive it and you can feel it. So sometimes we just have to let go of this, like I want to understand with my mind. Sometimes we understand with the heart, we understand with the body, we understand with the soul, right? So yeah. So and yeah, like as you mentioned before, if I can do this out of medicine, yeah. At the beginning it was very difficult, but once I allowed myself to be open to like empty my mind and not think and start just channeling that, I can do it whenever I need to. Sometimes I'm in processes where I am not feeling well, and I just grab an instrument. Sometimes at my shutri, I play the instrument and I start just singing, 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 singing until I feel like my emotions are like transmuting.
Okay.
Yeah.
what
Do
about
you?
for the people that are experiencing your light language, your icaros? What effect does it have on them?
A lot of people start releasing their emotions. Sometimes they start laughing, crying, feeling like they have to move, and then sometimes they like stand up and start dancing. Sometimes people just like let go of things. And sometimes memories can come to them very vividly when I'm singing, and they remember these things. Sometimes they just receive revelations. A lot of times people just say like, "Oh, I just feel so peaceful. Like I stopped thinking, my mind went blank. I could finally relax." Different situations
Yeah.
depending on what people need at the moment or what are they ready to receive.
Soren is a very gifted singer. Yeah, she's amazing. And her frequencies, I can feel them in my own body, in my own field. And we've also worked together in ceremony, and it's been such an amazing experience to have her there, supporting the work that I'm doing with the medicine. It just makes everything easier, less dense, like the frequencies support the energetic work that I'm doing. And we were just weaving together with her frequencies and my frequencies and the medicine. It was such a beautiful, beautiful experience to be able to work with Soren.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I bet it was. I can imagine. I've doing my ceremonies. Hamilton would sing Icaros, and he knew exactly which one to sing that'll help move the energy or to ground you in the energy. So I know that's definitely a gift to have to be able to do that. And I saw myself at one point, I started singing, because I speak like language too. I started singing the same tune he was singing, but it was different words. I won't even call them words, but different tones was coming out of me, but we was going with the same beat of things. So that's amazing how energy just get on and you ride the same wave together with it.
Wonderful. I also wanted to talk to you about the part of your life, which is also very important, that you're a moon dancer and that you're part of a specific lineage and commitment. Can you share what that practice involves and how it shapes the healing work you offer others?
Yeah. So as well in 2021, I was doing a women's circle at the beach, and I met Brenda. Today is her birthday, by the way. And Brenda is very curious because in that first ceremony I did in January, I received a message that ask this woman, I just heard a voice in my head, ask this woman, what is the red path? And I was like, because I didn't have any idea. I heard that in a song in a temazcal and really caught my attention, but a voice told me that they asked this woman, and I did ask the woman that was helping Rocco that time, and she told me, "Oh well, the red path is a beautiful spiritual path here of like the Mexicanity, or we call it Mexicanidad or Toltequidad as well. And but there's no like books or anything that I can give to you. You have to find that person because I am not here. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'm not able to help you. But for sure, you're gonna find somebody that can guide you through that." And 2 days or 3 days after that, a friend of mine tells me, "Oh, I was talking about the red path with Brenda," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So I went with Brenda, and I said, "Like, what do you know about the red path?" And then she told me, "Oh, well, I actually do something that is called moon dance," and I was like, "What is that?" "Oh, well, we go and we gather together for 4 days. We fast and we pray," and I was like, "What?" I was scared, but something was calling me strongly to do that. I was like, I want to do it, but I don't know if I'm strong enough. What if I get sick, I faint, or what's going to happen to me not eating for 4 days? Oh my God. That I was just scared. Like my mind was like, no, 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 resistance. But something told me like, no, you must do it. So at last minute, I gathered everything I needed and I told Brenda, I'm coming. I'm scared, really scared, but I'm gonna go. I went and I don't regret that decision at all. I connect with my roots, with being Mexican, with being part of this beautiful land that I live in, understanding the four elements, understanding the Nahuatl names. Nahuatl is the most indigenous language talking in Mexico. So understanding the Nahuatl names of the gods that represent the forces of the nature, like the air, the water, what are those spirits, how we represent them, why we represent them that way, how they can influence in my life, how can I connect with these energies so I can apply them in my daily life. So I went that first year, I fell in love with the moon dance and start training to practice in temazcales. So I put a temazcal with Brenda here in Puerto Escondido, and we ran the temazcal for a while. Then I did 4 years, and I was praying and praying and praying for finding my duality. my husband. And that last 4 years that I did in 2024, that I found my husband. Now I just got married, and I
Okay.
am, thank you. And I'm very grateful with the moon dance. And in October, I'm gonna go for my 5th year because it was amazing. It's been an amazing journey. Now I'm doing temazcales here with a friend, with Lauren, and I never imagined that my life would change so much because of medicine. Not only the plant medicine, but the medicine of being aware of everything that we are surrounded with, like the trees, and like for example flowers. What kind of flowers can we use for healing different parts of the body? To just to make tea. That's medicine,
What
like.
all medicines have you taken? Besides ayahuasca, have you took any more? Which ones have
Yeah.
you?
So for me, my journey has been with ayahuasca, mushrooms here in this little town called San Jose del Pacifico. I did mushroom ceremonies with my tray as well.
Okay.
Um, I took also this cactus that we have in the desert in the north of the country called hikuri. That's the name that the Wirrárica people give to the plant,
Mhm.
but in the name that most people know is peyote. I did changa a couple of times. I had LSD, but that's like more like a chemical. I wouldn't say like it's a sacred plant. And I did cambo and bufo.
Okay. Okay. So you got experience with plant medicine.
Yeah,
So what's your favorite out of all those you've done? Which one do you gravitate more towards?
definitely ayahuasca.
Okay.
Yeah. But right
Why?
now I have the call to hikuri because it's
Hmm.
coming to me. People is like, oh, I brought you this hikuri, and I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. And people keep calling me to hickory ceremonies this year. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening, grandfather. You want me to work more in my masculine side, in things that I have to materialize? I understand. Because hickory is more masculine, and ayahuasca is more feminine. So knowing this, I know that I have to balance my energies. So I'm grateful that the medicine is calling me to do different kinds of work.
So is it the
Yeah.
same as ayahuasca? It's just a masculine?
No.
Oh, okay, it's different.
So ayahuasca is the chemical components are DMT.
Hmm.
Basically, it's a type of DMT, and hickory is mescaline. So
Mm.
it is different. It feels also different,
Okay.
and you can do different things with it. But I just came back from London in February, and after I got married, I did a hickory ceremony, and it was very clear for me the things that I was not being honest with myself. It really confronted me to the level of like, hey girl, what are you doing? Are you trying to please other people? No, you have to be true to yourself. I was like, yeah, you're right, and made me feel that. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I've been very kind with other people to the point that I'm giving away my power and my right to be myself. I was like, no more.
Yeah.
I have to like roar like a lion, and I have to say no firmly. Okay, I was scared because I don't want to hurt anyone. I understand that that's beautiful to have in your heart, but also it's important to respect yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful with the medicine of Hikuri for showing me where I have to put my boundaries, because it's important to see what are the priorities. If you are not okay, if you are not full, how you pretend to give to somebody else, to others? You cannot empty yourself, because then you're not going to have anything else to give anymore.
Right. I
Hmm.
agree.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I've done hickory and also wachuma, which is known as San Pedro.
San Pedro.
Mhm.
Yeah, in when I was in Peru. And they're kind of like sisters. They're both from the mescaline, from the cacti family. But they are different. They
Okay.
are different in the experience, and it's hard to describe, but yeah, they're very different. They're very powerful. They're long-lasting psychoactive medicines. So that means they last 12 hours or more. They can, I think for me, it was 14, 15 hours. So it's not the kind of medicine that who, for somebody who's never done any medicine to start off with, I would not recommend. I would absolutely recommend people start off with something like maybe mushrooms or ayahuasca. But even ayahuasca is very intense because of the purging element, right? And mushrooms, generally you don't purge, although sometimes I have for
Yeah, I'm
sure.
a purger, so I purge with
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
too.
Usually I have to go to the bathroom with mushrooms. I don't purge this way.
Mhm.
But ayahuasca, it's both, you're purging out both ends and it's intense. So maybe for somebody who wants to start off softly, maybe mushrooms, moving into ayahuasca, then San Pedro, peyote. I wouldn't recommend going into those long-lasting psychoactive medicines for your first time. That's just my opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that, because I agree with that. I have never done San Pedro or any of those other ones that you mentioned. So I'm only ayahuasca, psilocybin, and cannabis. That's all I've done.
Yes, wonderful. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share before we end the show, Soren?
Yeah, I think I would like also to say to people, like, if it's like your first approach to medicine, you feel that like call, that like warm inside of you saying like, hey, knock knock, I'm here, like I can help you. I would say first start with microdosing.
Oh,
Microdosing is a way to start developing that awareness. But microdosing, I would say do it, but also with meditation. Because I don't see the point of doing microdose, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take a pill and then I go to work and I am on social media. Like, you're not gonna pay attention to what the plant has to say to you, right? So it is important to have that space to really start listening. So if you have the opportunity to meditate with a microdose, that would help. Or to go with somebody that can also help you to understand what you're going through, what you're feeling. Sometimes taking microdose with like an expert such as yourself, Maitreya, I imagine Shitaka as well, and trying to step little by little into what is the process over there. And if you want to be gentle with yourself, there are people that they are warriors and they say like, oh, now I feel the call and I have to go to the jungle and I will do everything and the dieta and everything. Is like, okay, there are people that are ready for that. But for people that want to be very like loving, soft with themselves, I would recommend that. And start also with mushrooms because they are generally more gentle. Ayahuascas, most of the time, like the feel like soft, gentle, but the second time she can be very confrontative as well. And
oh,
depending on what the person needs, that's okay. Like I believe that when we take medicine, she is a very like high consciousness being, and she knows what she's doing. Like a lot of people say, like, ah, yeah, I am the facilitator of the healing, and yeah, but you don't have control over what ayahuasca is gonna show people. She knows what she's doing. The plants, they know what they're doing because they really scan us, that they can see what we have inside and how they can help us.
yeah,
And after ceremonies, plants are here to show us a path, but we have to walk that path for ourselves. It is important also to not depend on plant medicine to live our lives. I've been 1 year and a half without ayahuasca. After drinking it for so many times, around 70 times, now I haven't drank ayahuasca at all. And I know that right now is not there for me.
mhm,
First of all, because another medicine is knocking the door, and it's just very clear that people just put a peyote in my hands, and it's like, oh wow, okay, I didn't ask for it, it came. And people keep saying, hickory ceremony, hickory ceremony, hickory ceremony all the time. Very easily comes to me. So for me, that's a signal that I have to work with this plant. And second, because she gave me so much homework to do that I have to still like figure out a lot of things, and I have to work on that. And that's okay. And that processes take time. It's not like, yeah, ayahuasca told me to do this and forgive my father for this or that. Yeah, well, that can take me years, and
Right.
that's okay. Sometimes people think like, yeah, plant medicine can work really fast in how your reality develops, but sometimes those processes can be slow, and sometimes it's slow, quantic jump. You just jump to another reality out of the sudden. That can happen. That can happen sometimes. And
Right.
sometimes it's like you jump really fast and now you have to deal with that energy. When you're in that energy, it's like, okay, things are shifting really fast. What do I do with this? And then you have to start working slowly.
Yeah.
So different outcomes can happen. So my advice for people would say like be open to whatever comes to your life as a teaching and observe in your journey, in your integration, what are the messages that these sacred plants are giving to you, and how is that being manifested in your reality.
Yeah.
And I still remember my first ceremony and the things that ayahuasca told me, like I am connected to everything in this world, that the love of Mother Mary, for example, that this is a beautiful entity, and still comes to me, like to this day when I forget that I am so supported by these beautiful beings. I still forget these things sometimes. Part of human nature to forget these things, and sometimes I just sit and reflect on that first ceremony and all the teachings. It's been a couple of years now, I would say 9, 10 years. Well, yeah, like 9 years since I took my first ayahuasca ceremony, and it's still teaching me so much things. So it's really a gift. All those like messages that we get from them, that we can work with them for the rest of our lives.
I agree.
Oh, thank you so much, Soren. All of what you've shared, there's so much wisdom there. And I loved what you said about just maybe starting with microdosing. Mushroom psilocybin is a good introduction to medicine so that people don't get overwhelmed, especially people that are kind of in fight flight mode. You don't want to, trigger your nervous system even more. So starting off gradually is a really good advice, I'd say, for people. I also earlier this year, I had a special program called Return to the Great Mother, where we did a little bit more than a microdose, but I think it was maybe like a half a gram, and it was like a mini dose,
Mm-hmm.
and the people were able to just really move into that meditative altered state without getting overwhelmed and taken into a huge journey that maybe they wouldn't be ready for. So I think it's important to ask questions, right? When you're thinking about doing any kind of medicine, how much medicine do you administer? You know, what are the side effects of psilocybin and so forth? As someone who's going into doing medicine, it's really important to choose your facilitator well. So yeah, this is all really, really important. So thank you so much for coming on the show. Soren also offers beautiful channeled messages from the angels. We're going to put her details in the description. You can get in touch with her if you'd like to find out more about Soren's work. And please like, follow, subscribe to our channel, and share our channel with everyone that you feel would really benefit from this kind of content that we're sharing with all of you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.